Football fans, we finally got the official word on backup quarterback Marcus Mariota's knee injury, and while Washington Commanders fans everywhere can breathe a genuine sigh of relief, this news also opens up a genuinely fascinating roster question that this front office now has to seriously wrestle with. Do they go out and sign additional quarterback depth for the remainder of this preseason? Or do they simply roll with the young arms already on this roster? Let's break down exactly what we know and where this situation likely heads next. According to reporting from Adam Schefter, Marcus Mariota is going to miss the remainder of this preseason schedule after suffering a sprained MCL, reportedly occurring on just his third offensive snap of that preseason opener. This represents a genuinely interesting situation for several reasons, particularly given some conversations that had already been building throughout this offseason regarding exactly how well Mariota's specific skill set actually fits within this new offensive system as opposed to how he performed under the previous offensive coordinator. Unfortunately, those specific questions are not going to get properly answered anytime soon now that he is sidelined for the remainder of this exhibition schedule. So the real question becomes, does this organization reach out to a proven veteran option to help fill out that quarterback room for the rest of the preseason? Or do they simply lean on the young arms already in the building while they wait for Mariota to fully heal? To be completely clear here, the backup quarterback position absolutely still matters for this organization. Mariota has proven to be a genuinely reliable presence in that specific role, having already played more actual snaps than most teams ever hope to need from their primary backup. That said, if starting quarterback Jayden Daniels were to suffer his own significant injury at some point this season, this team's overall outlook would understandably become considerably more difficult regardless of who specifically occupies that backup role. Still, these remain genuinely important roster questions worth working through. It is also worth acknowledging that Mariota had reportedly been working through a genuinely difficult stretch throughout this training camp even before this specific injury occurred. Based on first-hand observation at multiple practices, along with daily practice reports circulating throughout camp, Mariota had reportedly been running the football more than ideal during practice, and his overall accuracy had been noticeably inconsistent throughout this specific stretch. That trend carried into this actual preseason opener as well, where he threw an underwhelming off-target pass to a wide-open receiver before ultimately completing a different throw and then immediately tapping on his own knee. An early tell that this was likely some kind of lower body injury even before the official diagnosis was confirmed. Interestingly, rookie quarterback Ethan Kalmanis reportedly turned in the most aesthetically pleasing overall performance of that specific game from a pure eye test standpoint. Sam Hartman, despite some rough moments throughout the contest, ultimately finished that game relatively solidly by his own standards, even though there was admittedly plenty of missed opportunity left on the field throughout that performance as well. So, back to that central roster question. Does this organization actually sign another quarterback? One name specifically worth mentioning is a veteran who was previously with this organization during Jayden Daniels' first two professional seasons. Even though this team now operates under a different offensive system entirely, that specific player already has an established existing relationship with current offensive coordinator David Blau, who actually served as an assistant quarterback coach throughout Daniels' first two seasons in the league. That familiarity, combined with some reported previous overlap working within a similar offensive scheme in Detroit, could make him a genuinely seamless potential fit if this organization decides to bring in outside reinforcement. Looking ahead to next week's preseason matchup against the Detroit Lions, widely considered something of a dress rehearsal for the regular season, expect to see Jayden Daniels and the rest of this team's starters get meaningful game action. That means, at minimum, fans should expect to see some combination of Daniels, Sam Hartman, and Ethan Kalmanis all logging snaps in that specific contest, though the exact breakdown of playing time between the two backup options remains to be seen. Whether that ends up being a clean half-and-half split or some other rotation entirely. This entire situation genuinely opens up a real extended look at this team's ongoing QB3 competition, given that Hartman and Kalmanis are now essentially the only healthy options available for the remainder of this preseason. And even if this organization did decide to bring in a proven veteran option from outside the building, it is worth remembering that kind of addition would not simply represent an immediate plug-and-play solution, since that player would still need time to properly learn this specific offensive system before being fully game-ready. There is also a genuinely important developmental angle worth considering here regarding Mariota specifically, because missing this stretch of preseason action means he loses out on valuable additional repetitions within this new offensive system, something that could have genuinely helped him going forward. Based on first-hand observation at practice, Mariota has reportedly looked like exactly the kind of player who elevates his game specifically in live. Competitive situations compared to standard practice repetitions, a fairly common trait among certain veteran quarterbacks who simply perform better once the lights come on and the situation actually carries real stakes. He appeared to genuinely be building toward a strong, sustained drive in that preseason opener before this injury occurred, even accounting for one specific ill-advised throw earlier in that same series that fortunately did not result in a turnover. Given all of that context, the growing expectation and prediction here is that this organization ultimately does bring in that previously mentioned familiar quarterback option to help fill out this room for the remainder of the preseason. The simple reasoning behind that specific prediction comes down to the tremendous value of continuity and existing relationships within professional football. This remains very much a relationship-driven league, where familiarity with a coaching staff and an offensive system can make an enormous difference in how quickly a player can step in and genuinely contribute, even in a purely depth-oriented role. So there you have it, football fans. Genuinely encouraging news on the health front for Marcus Mariota, paired with a fascinating roster decision now facing this coaching staff regarding exactly how to properly fill out this quarterback room for the remainder of the preseason. Whether this organization ultimately brings in additional outside depth or simply rolls forward with its existing young arms, this specific situation offers a genuinely valuable extended look at exactly how this team's ongoing third-string quarterback competition continues to shake out heading into the regular season. So now it is your turn, and we genuinely want to hear what you think about everything covered in this update. Do you believe the Commanders should go out and sign additional veteran quarterback depth for the remainder of this preseason, or should they simply roll with Sam Hartman and Ethan Kalmanis? How concerned are you on a scale of 1 to 10 about this entire quarterback situation heading into the regular season? And how much playing time do you expect to see from the backup quarterbacks during next week's dress rehearsal matchup against Detroit? Drop your thoughts and predictions down in the comments section below, because we absolutely love hearing what all of you think. If this update helped you get fully caught up on everything happening with this Commanders quarterback room, do us a favor and smash that like button. It genuinely helps this channel reach even more passionate fans just like yourself. And if you have not already subscribed, now is the perfect time, because we are going to be right here bringing you every single roster update and every bit of behind-the-scenes coverage all the way through this incredibly compelling season. Thanks so much for watching, and we will catch you in the very next update. Hail to the Commanders!